reflecting on the full arc of my feminine healing journey so far in my life. And it's really been such a journey of really diving into all the facets, all the sides of being feminine and of feminine wounding, which includes but is not limited to the impact of patriarchal energies, not just in men, but also in women, the sensitivity of being a feminine that doesn't translate to weakness, but truly feeling, acknowledging, and letting be real feminine sensitivity and heart and care, and really uncovering all the barriers to feeling that and embodying it, and also feeling the different layers and textures of sacred union ache and desire, the ache for a mate, the ache for being with a man who can meet me there, and how rare that experience has been in this lifetime and perhaps many others as well. Also, the father wounding has been a big one for my feminine. My dad in this life passed away when I was 24. Even since he passed, actually, that really is what set me off on this whole huge journey of deep diving into my feminine. It's interesting how death can do that. So I could list off several other things. Exploring my sexuality as a feminine and what that even means versus what the Matrix tells us it's supposed to mean. The feminine body, what it means to have a woman's body, why so many things are deemed unacceptable about the woman's body if it looks a different way than what we see in the media and all of that. And that has just been, it's been 38 years really of trying to become a woman in my own way, and doing a lot of deep diving into my soul and the different layers there of the wounded feminine and how she has shown up. What I feel to share today is about what has seemed to be my primary relationship to the masculine on the outside and inside, and how that's been shifting. So I'll just share very quickly about that. My journey with my inner masculine has just been so profound, from layers of being so protective of me and also so pushy in a way of my feminines to try to launch them into this world and launch them into purpose. And that's not a bad thing, but it has had this trying to make something happen sort of energy. And my priestesses in my soul have had that too. There's a masculinity in them that has had to come forward in that way, and that they needed in their lifetimes. So that makes sense. And I think the biggest thing for my inner masculine as he's shifted, yes, from this more protective, even self-punishing energy to punishing of me and of my feminines, this critical voice that's really an echo of the Matrix voice, all that Matrix conditioning about how we're supposed to be, look, and act, what we're supposed to energize, what we're supposed to embody, that even the Matrix within modern day spirituality energizes very much to us. So it's not just mainstream media. We're also talking about spirituality in general. So my masculine now is actually, finally, after all of these years of very deep work with my masculine and all of these different faces of him and energies, and he's truly become an inner mate for me. And he has off and on throughout the years, I've related to him in that way, but that inner sacred union feeling is truly deepening now. And I really feel him really wanting to show up in that, and he does. And he's very kind, and he's very warm-hearted, and he truly represents the kind of man that I want to be with, that I want to draw on the outside. A man who isn't volatile. I think even some men listening to this may understand what I mean by that, where there's just one easy thing can set them off. And I know a lot of women are like this too. Just the trigger points are right there, right at the surface. And it can be really difficult to be in relationship with a man like that who isn't willing to deep dive into why their parts are like that. There's been a lot of experiences I've had with men on the outside. What I've drawn have been reflections of really where my inner masculine has been at, where he's been more critical and felt powerless actually inside of me. And that's where that was coming from, because my feminines are so powerful as well. And so there's been a little bit of a contest inside sometimes, but now my inner masculine, who's going by the name Anders, isn't feeling that way anymore. And he wants my feminines to feel safe, to lean into him, but also he wants to be able to have his voice. And so he does. So I allow him to come forward and even sometimes press me into alchemy or press me into the next phases where something does need to happen, and he can help catalyze that. And he has the energy to show up for that. And you know, so much of manifestation in our lives is actually just surrender. All we can do is surrender. We can desire and we can surrender to the outcome. And there are certain steps we can take, but most of the time it's really about feeling ourselves. I kind of feel Anders actually sharing that a little bit, what he's learned about that as a masculine too. So even he knows that he can't really make anything happen, but he can partner with me in different aspects of me to create the circumstances that we need, or to be able to, how do I explain it? Not make something out of nothing, but to help illuminate the next places to go inside, what needs to be felt, or even what does need to be done physically to create something. And then there's a negotiation there between him and my feminine and my heart as Kasha. And okay, what am I up for actually doing today? Or does my body need rest? Does my heart need some space to just breathe? And what's the balance there? So I do feel like he's more up and ready and willing and open to feeling that out with me moment to moment, and what actually feels appropriate for where I'm at the moment, while also still having his opinion and his desires, and so we can feel that together. And then he also has this sweet, affectionate side to him that I also really love feeling, and he'll actually I feel him holding me, and I'll feel him holding my feminines, and they're sometimes just weeping with him because it's such a deep healing experience. I suppose one invitation I want to extend is to, this is for women, but as you feel your inner masculine, maybe you have some sense of how protective this energy is inside of you right now. Beginning to connect with why that's there, why he is that way, because it's never for no reason, and diving deeper into that process. There's so many gifts there. And I actually do have a guided meditation that I recorded a few months ago that can lead you into a deeper connection with that aspect of you if you feel like it's time for that, or you're curious about that, he's curious about that. And I didn't know I was going to invite you to connect with that, but I certainly welcome you into that space, and for men as well, because men can also have that inner protector who's very masculine, who's very protective, very punishing. And so you can imagine how a protector in a woman and a protector in a man clash in that protectiveness, that defense, which again isn't for no reason. They always have a good reason to feel that way. But being with them and fully understanding it and being able to help them soften over time. This is not a one and done or a very quick process. Usually it takes time to unwind it and unfold it. If you're curious about that, I do welcome you to connect with my meditation or from Raphael and Shalil as well. And also we have one-on-one session space that we offer too, including a free intro call if you would like to just feel into it, or just talk to us, message us. But I do feel like there is a lot to this process of feeling the inner masculine, especially for women, but for men as well. And there's just a lot of power to unpack in that, and a lot of compassion that then can extend to men on the outside. And I feel like that is one of the deepest gifts I've received, as well as a clarity about what it is I am waiting for. So, sending much love. Thank you so much for taking this in.